Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Liz Hancock. Elizabeth Mary Hancock is my formal business name, but most of you know me as Liz. And I'm here with the wonderful Bonnie Hardie, who I'm delighted to interview. So hello, welcome Bonnie.
Liz, we're going.
We might have a few sound issues. If we have, just bear with us because I think they're gonna peter out. So they certainly will if I switch off my phone, which I'm about to do. So excellent, great. This is live, so it's real. Why am I doing this interview with Bonnie? So I met Bonnie a few months ago. She's in the US, in Florida. I'm in the UK. She booked a free coaching call with me on the back end of one of my summits. And I don't advise that my clients coach other people for free because often if you do it once, you can do it a lot of times, and it holds you back from creating an income that therefore further down the line you can create massive change. But there's always an exception to the rule, and that isn't a rule. You know, it's your business, you can do what the hell you like. And so there's a couple of people in my community who I do coach for free or on an exchange basis. And Bonnie is one of them because she has an amazing story. And when I spoke to her, I really felt that she could make a difference to a lot of people's lives, and especially children's lives. And I have a real passion about that because I'm a mum and I know how much children need inspiration and positivity, and they need to be like drawn away from that peer pressure and that kind of getting into that vibe of just going downhill and wasting their lives away. They need to be really inspired and encouraged to be the best versions of themselves as possible. And I really believe that Bonnie, with her vision and her abilities, could do that. So I wanted to help her, enable her to do that. And so we started, I let her in my Enlightened Entrepreneur Academy membership site, where she has access to some materials that are helping her. She gets on a call with us once a month, and it's been wonderful. And you know, the best thing for me about creating this community is that I now have two ladies in the UK. As I mentioned, Bonnie's in the US, but one of them specifically, they're both doing it, but one took the bull by the horns and started this funding page for Bonnie to progress her dream a bit more quickly, a lot more quickly, hopefully. And possibly you might want to help with that once you've heard her story. But Amy and Ange will be sleeping rough for the night because that's what Bonnie has to do every night. And but it by no means defines her. In fact, a lot of my people were quite shocked when they found out, because she doesn't bang on about it. It's just like that's what she does. But she has this big dream, which I'd like her to tell you about. And and you know, I just want to share it with people. And if this can get the attention of one person that can help her, then you know that's what I hope from this interview. And also, Bonnie, to chat to you, obviously. So Bonnie, tell us about your vision and about your dream and what you want to accomplish.
Okay, well, what my vision is, I want to buy a van very soon, fix it up on the inside so that I can live it. But I don't drive around the country giving motivational speeches and talking about personal development. Because right now in this world, there are so many people that focus on negative, and I call them negative Nellies. Now, I understand that there's always going to be something bad going on. Sometimes you need to vent and talk about it so people know what's going on. But when every time you turn around, the same people are complaining about the same thing over and over again, and everybody's sad. What makes my story worse than anybody else's story? Yeah, everything's relative, but I want to turn from pessimism to positivity. So I'm actually, that kind of thought went in my head the other day. I'm like, oh, just see if I can figure out a program for that. Pessimism to positivity. You know, have people join, you know, a positivity posse, stuff like that. Go around, meet different people from, you know, all over. Give talks about how to frame stuff, because anything that is a negative you can frame to a positive. For instance, I sleep at night either on a bus stop bench or in the mulch of a patio of a closed down coffee shop. So that's bad. But I turn around and say, hey, look, I'm nature night. I'm looking at the stars and moon. I'm learning drawing. So that's how to reframe bad to good. I just want to help people to show that no matter how bad stuff is, every day you wake up and you wake up, that's a good day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Bonnie. And I know the audio is not brilliant, but because I know a bit about Bonnie's story, I'll just summarize that in case anyone couldn't hear properly. But so Bonnie's vision is to buy and do up a van so that she can live in it. And she's got this wonderful vision board pictures with what it's going to look like inside. And it's really, really inspiring. And that is because she has such a passion about helping people to be positive, reframing the negative to the positive, and really by sharing what she does every day to reframe her situation and to make a positive situation out of something that, you know, let's face it, is fairly negative. Her commitment to doing that on a daily basis again and again and again is really inspiring. And I know that when she's driving around in the van, she's going to reach so many more people. So that's what we want to help Bonnie with. That's what we'd love your help with. If you would like to help us, then that would be amazing. As I mentioned, Amy, who has pulled this together, we're going to be sharing her what's it called, Bonnie, the fundraising page, the GoFundMe page, is that it?
I think it was help. Yeah. I have to double back. I think it was Bonnie share her story because I got an event page.
That's
and then
it.
GoFundMe page, and then Amy started like GoFundMe for England too. So there's a couple different things we're trying to get going. So hopefully something will get going real soon.
Yeah.
Really quick.
Absolutely. So we will add those to this this interview when we post it. But so Bonnie, it is tricky because the audio isn't great. I'm wondering what there's nothing I can do at the moment. But tell us a bit about your story, the kind of thing that you would share when you're speaking. How did you end up to be where you are now, if you're happy to share that?
Well, what happened several years ago, I was by myself in a nice hotel, that sweet hotel. It's called the Studio 6 Motel. And one of the other neighbors who lived there, she had a mom who was elderly, who was sick, she had dementia and Alzheimer's. And she said, can you come stay with me? I'll let you in my room rent free. You're staying with mom at night while I'm at work. So I said, well, yeah, I'm living by myself, but I understand your story now, and I'll help you out, and then I can save some money. So I went and stayed with her. Well, 2-3 weeks later, mother died unexpectedly. And then about 2 weeks after that, the roommate said, well, I have a friend that said I move up to Minnesota with him, and they rent free for a year, so I'm moving in pretty soon. I was like, well, that's nice. I spent my life to come in and say, you, now I'm totally messed up. So I struggled along a little bit along there, and then I ended up not having enough money to stay in a hotel. I had to leave. I was homeless for a little while, living on a bus bench, and then I got a tent in the woods. And then I was in a tent in the woods most of last summer, from a little before Easter to August. And then I had to go out of the tent right before my birthday in August because technically everybody was trespassed. There was quite a lot of people back there that were homeless. And police officer said, you have 10 minutes to get your stuff. I was like, well, I have 10 feet long, so you wanted a bunch of stuff and have like a bed and everything, you know. So I grabbed what I could grab. I left, and you know, luckily I had the hotel for a little because it was my birthday weekend, and stayed there. Well, I'm a little bit in here and there, not a lot, and then I end up a friend of mine who lives in the city 40 miles away, but I could stay with her for a little while last year, from September to December, and then that ended 2 weeks before Christmas. So I came up over here to Celebration, Florida, and then pretty much almost every single day. I get a hotel room a couple times a month, and I have enough money for that. So basically, and I'll sleep at a bus stop bench a couple nights a week, and then I'll sleep on the patio of a closed down coffee shop in the mall where they have their plants and stuff like that. And then I'm only there like midnight to about 5 a.m. and spend my days doing different things, going to Starbucks, going to the library. As long as I have internet, I'm trying to do stuff online. But then everything I own is in two gym bags in a bag. So I pack it quick and get stuff and get out. I learned how to put everything in these bags, and that's it. I got everything organized. What I need when I go here and everywhere. So that's it. But I really love days, and even at night when I'm trying to sleep, I don't even get much sleep then because you gotta sleep one eye open. Being on the bench, seriously, 15 feet away from a major highway. There's cars going up and down all night long.
Mm-hmm.
So during the day, so it's rough right now, really rough.
Yeah. And that's why we want to get you off the streets and into your lovely van. And like to hear your story, Bonnie, and it's just like how one decision can alter the trajectory of your life so rapidly and so on such a massive scale. And the awful thing is, it wasn't even a bad decision that you made. It was you were trying to help someone, and that's like rubbing salt into the wound, isn't it? It's like that would make
Right.
a lot of people very bitter, and like, it's not fair. Why did this happen to me? I was helping someone, and then that didn't work out, and then I've got completely shafted. So how do you kind of reconcile that in your own head? How do you not end up being a victim?
Well, it's really hard sometimes. It's easy to go down the path and mad at the lady friend I was trying to help, and mad at other people that know my story, and I'm praying for and thinking about you. That's nice, but do you have a house I can stay on? Can you buy something from me? I'm not asking you for $20, $20. I will buy something. I sell Avon. Avon's something for everybody. And what's annoying too sometimes is people say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that," and they don't follow through. You don't understand. If I sell you 2 t-shirts for $6, that money could be used for a night in the hotel room. It's easy to say, "Why don't you do this? Why don't you choose for 48 hours?" 48 hours, that's it. And see what kind of attitude you have. And I understand that some of these homeless people, some of them have been homeless for 10 or 15 years, and they don't want to come out of this position. They want to stay where they're at. They want to sit on the bus stop and beg for money. And then they use the money that people give them for beer and cigarettes. So they don't use their money for that. That's fine, but I'm going to use it to buy a pass, buy groceries, buy a hotel room. It's kind of hard sometimes to clear the things. I'm so tired because sometimes I'm almost falling asleep trying to type something online. So I'm actually getting really good about catching cat in different places and stuff like that. I can fall asleep and be asleep 15 minutes. I usually won't early and sleep for an hour, so it'll be nice to get a really nice sleep one of these nights, even when I'm in a hotel room. I'm so used to waking up basically the one I open. I still don't get a night's sleep there. It is restful. I do have a microwave to use, and I eat some healthy food. So trying to eat healthy so I can keep up my stamina. And then I told you before, I got really bad knees that will probably end up needing to have knee replacement surgery done by the time I'm 60. It helps lose weight for that, but if I can't really walk and I didn't do bicycles, I'm like, I don't know where to go. It's this or that, for this or that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we do that. It's like, well, be a musician and you got to do what you say to do. So, but it's easy to go negative. But if I start focusing on negative, then nobody's going to want to be around me, and that's going to make it even worse. And so I'm like, well, I mean, it's not all unicorn and rainbows. So I want to try to put positive things, but then I want to be real and let people, hey, look, this is my reality. We're complaining over here about your hotel you're staying only has a microwave and refrigerator. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have that. I can't buy any food to have to cook because I can't get, and it's not safe to eat hot dogs that are raw or safe to eat SpaghettiOs right out the can, but what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
And Bonnie, I think in a time where kids, I'm saying kids especially because I know we've spoken about you going to talk to children, because I think it's a really important message for them to hear. But for them to hear like how this can happen, but also how, like, what value do we put on stuff nowadays? Like, kids are so spoiled, and it's not their fault, it's us as parents. And it's also it's almost not even our fault because we're just conforming to the rest of society. But it's easy to forget that actually, you know, we want to try and educate our children in terms of what's valuable. And, you know, we sponsor a little girl in Africa, and we send letters to her. We don't just send her money, but there's a relationship between her and my daughter, which I love, and which my daughter loves as well. But it's sometimes hard to get them kind of like out of their worlds, because they're only children, but into thinking about other people, and that, you know, life isn't great for other people, and we need to be mindful of that, and we need to do something about it. And also doing that without frightening them as well is another issue that some people will worry about. They don't want our kids to know what's going on out there because it might upset them. So I think with what you're doing, and in terms of going out there and talking to school children, I know that's going to be brilliant. And it's such a shame about the audio, because we can't hear your voice as clearly as we normally would be able to. I think it's the time zone, like this time of day, it's often tricky because like the whole world is online rather than just half of the world. And but I think we've got a good impression there of how passionate you are, how humble you are, and how positive you are. You're just so positive. And of course you're going to have days where it's like it's rubbish, because it's a hard life that you're living. But to keep that vision in front of you, I know you're going to be running some vision workshops in your local area, and you're going to get doing that speaking. The one thing this is my biggest message to Bonnie, and it's my biggest message to everyone else out there: you don't need to wait for something to happen to make it happen. Like, Bonnie's been waiting for the van till she goes out and talks to people, but she can talk to people now. She can go out to schools now. It's not the van that's going to enable her to do that, because where she lives there are schools. So we've had a bit of interaction over that, haven't we, Bonnie? But I think you get it now, and that's, you know, that's what you're making happen. So and as soon as, so this is a really good message for the viewers as well, as soon as you take that positive action, other things start happening. So Bonnie got to the point where she'd had enough. She was like, I'm not going to bother selling Avon anymore because people say they're going to buy and then they never do, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then I was like, you know what you need to do, Bonnie? You need to go out and speak, and you need to do it now. And then once she made that decision and she contacted the library, she's doing vision workshops. Then the help started coming in to help her with the fundraising, and it all starts to build momentum. And call it law of attraction, call it good karma, just call it law of action. You know, whatever it. Law of attraction is great, but if Bonnie just sat there thinking about a better life, that wouldn't make it happen. She's taking action now. And because she's doing that, and she's coupling it with the law of attraction, with the positivity, she's bringing everything together. You know, she's listening to me, which is great, and the other people in her support network. She's reaching out. She's created her own community through her Facebook group, Make Dreams Happen, and you can join that. Just type it into Facebook and you can join that, and it's a wonderful group. She's making things happen, and she's making her dreams happen. So yeah, Bonnie, I think that's brilliant. I'm really, really, it's been so nice to catch up with you, and I know we'll speak again soon. But for the viewers, I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to post the links here. If you can give like the smallest amount, then that would be amazing. And because together it's not one person that makes a difference, it's many people together. That's what I'm trying to help Bonnie with, to reach more people, to enable her to reach more people through her wonderful message, through her wonderful motivation. And watch this space, because you're going to hear more of her, more from her as well. So Bonnie, any final words, anything you want to add to that?
No, I just want to say thank you a lot, Liz. Thank you to Amy and everybody else who's really trying to help me out. I know you had given me a good kick in the butt, and I finally got my head out of butt. I might just do it. The worst that can happen, people will say no, and at least I try. I can build everything, that little thing I do, I can bond for later and make it work even better later on. So thank you for being part of my.
Oh, that's my pleasure.
Make it happen. So it's really cool that you have a group in it, so that makes you feel pretty cool, you know.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. And again, I apologize for the audio, but we got the gist of what you were saying. And you are taking action, and that's the big message to people out there. Positivity, action, motivation, and community. I think there's so much coming out of this. So Bonnie, thank you, and we'll speak again soon, and we'll get this out to people and see what happens. I'm excited.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Take care, guys.